In 1848, a 12-year-old Andrew Carnegie stepped off a ship from Scotland with his family. They arrived in a bustling America, steeped in opportunity. But wealth was not immediate. In Pittsburgh, young Carnegie began working as a bobbin boy. Surrounded by whirring machines, he earned a mere $1.20 per week. His eyes were already set on something greater. Working tireless hours, he saved every penny. Carnegie soon moved to a telegraph office, absorbing information voraciously. This young boy was laying the foundation for a remarkable journey. An improbable rise had begun, one that would transform industry itself. The world Carnegie entered was ripe for industrialization. The railways were expanding rapidly across America. Opportunities for investment were tremendous. Yet, it required vision to seize them. Carnegie's early struggles instilled discipline and frugality. With a keen eye, he began investing in railroads and iron. Securing a web of valuable connections, he seemed omnipresent. The young immigrant's venture gained traction. America was changing, and Carnegie played a crucial role. Embracing innovation, he steered forward. Carnegie's ascent was marked by strategic moves. The foundation of Carnegie Steel was a revolution in industry. Vertical integration became his mantra. By controlling every step of production, costs plummeted, profits soared, and Carnegie's influence widened. But this ascent wasn't gentle. His strategies were ruthless. Yet to him, efficiency justified all actions. Success was not without controversy. Through thick tension, the empire expanded. Today's corporate giants still mimic his methods. In 1901, Carnegie made a monumental business decision. He sold Carnegie Steel to J.P. Morgan for $480 million. This was equivalent to over $400 billion today. It crowned him the world's richest man. Words like ruthless floated around, coupled with admiration. America took notice of the immense wealth transfer. Carnegie had become an industrial titan, unprecedented in his time. Strikes like those at Homestead marred his reputation. Dividend checks flowed, but so did public critique. This sale reshaped the financial landscape dramatically. As wealth consolidated, Carnegie's thoughts turned inward. Retirement didn't mean retreat. It signaled a new purpose. At age 66, he embarked on an unprecedented giveaway. Philanthropy became his primary pursuit. By the time he died, he had donated 90% of his fortune. Carnegie built over 2,500 libraries and supported education. His actions fostered monumental cultural institutions. The world witnessed a transformation from tycoon to benefactor. Carnegie's philanthropy left an indelible mark globally. His vision was both personal redemption and societal advancement. Extreme frugality defined Carnegie's early life. Investing wisely accelerated his fortune. The strategic giving in later years contrasted sharply with others. The Vanderbilt family squandered much of their wealth. Carnegie's tactic was different. It was calculated and deliberate. His legacy taught lessons in wealth management and altruism, thrift and ambition combined, creating a lasting impact. A keen sense of innovation drove his every move. Carnegie's life serves as both a guide and a warning. This financial blueprint continues to resonate today. Carnegie's story also highlights societal impact. The colossal steel empire shaped modern cities. Skyscrapers rose, driven by steel skeletons. The ripples of his actions spread wide. His business practices were imitated globally. New power dynamics emerged within industries. Carnegie's impact wasn't confined to America alone. Steel structures fundamentally altered architecture's possibilities. Cities thrived, yet disparities grew alongside wealth. Carnegie's influence extended into societal veins quietly. Power centers of the era were galvanized by wealth. Industrial magnates like Henry Clay Frick shaped narratives. Massive fortunes wielded enormous influence. Country leaders took notice, leveraging connections. This wealth created new corporate and political alliances. Caricatures emerged for captains of industry. The intricate dance between money and governance unfolded. Union challenges presented cracks in the edifice. While growth was undeniable, underlying tensions simmered. Carnegie and peers molded the very skeleton of industrial age. Despite the successes, there were numerous vulnerabilities. Union strikes, like the Homestead strike, exposed tensions. Investment risks became increasingly apparent within growing markets. Asset bubbles threatened governmental and economic stability. Just as growth was phenomenal, so was the fragility. Regulatory frameworks struggled to keep pace. Global interconnections presented new challenges. Union power rose as industries expanded. Beneath wealth, systemic risks remained, hidden yet potent. The business architecture was persuasive, but precarious. Market exposure often translated to sweeping stress. Wide-reaching effects of financial crashes were severe. Systems were robust, yet prone to collapse. Volatility became an inescapable feature of market dynamics. Dynamic adjustment was constantly needed within economic models. The barometer moved swiftly, demanding vigilant oversight. Carnegie's own career periods witnessed such oscillations. Industrial upheavals fed public discourse on economic failures. Countries scrambled for protective measures. Shockwaves of past errors reached into future frameworks. The dramatic shifts of Carnegie's era sowed seeds for today. Lessons on growth, wealth, and giving remain relevant. Socially responsible investing echoes his philanthropic vision. Stress points identified then still warrant attention now. Economic landscapes persist with inherited complexities. Policies today build on historical evolutions. Regulatory blueprints owe debt to pioneering strategies. Despite their ruthless roots, Carnegie's practices guide. Now, his legacy is both a tangible and moral one. His context defines and informs the present. Andrew Carnegie's life provides a historical template. Through hardship, shrewdness, and eventual benevolence, he shaped financial paradigms. The blueprint for wealth and philanthropy unfolded powerfully. Artifacts of his influence still dot our economies. The philanthropic practices he espoused underlie foundations today. Industry strategies echo his original tactics. The investigation into his life reveals threads that endure. Carnegie's narrative serves as a lesson and catalyst. The spectre of his existence looms large, ever relevant, yet his epoch remains a testament to transformation potential.